Hello, my name is Zachariah with OMG Gaming, and welcome to a preview. I don't get to do these often, but I try and do them every time we have Steam Next Fest come on, and we get all those juicy demos. I like to play them. I like to give you guys an idea what they're about, if you don't get a chance to play them, that sort of thing. And I only usually pick like 2 to 4. I only picked 2 this time, and this video is specifically going to deal with Mecha Break, the free-to-play mecha shooter coming soon, sometime this year. They don't have a release date yet, but this thing seemed pretty playable when I was in it. So yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, what I'm going to do in this preview is I'm going to give you an overview of what the game is. Then I'm going to tell you the things that I'm excited about for this game, the things that I really think are positive, and then I'm going to tell you my concerns, things that may come up. And then I'll be telling you whether I am going to be purchasing / downloading / playing this game when it comes out based on this demo. So Mecha Break is a very interesting game. It is a mecha-based shooter where they're trying to give you the feel of being an anime hero in the mech. Missiles, lasers, flying anywhere. Anybody who's ever watched an episode of Gundam, anybody who's watched an episode of Robotech, that's what they're looking for here. And in a lot of ways, they accomplish that. It is a free-to-play game. Or it's going to be free-to-play too when it comes out, so it's got some transactions, which we're going to talk about real soon, because I want to talk about the review bombing going on with this thing, but I want to get into it a little bit. I want to get into the game a little bit first, what the game is. So there's a couple of different modes that you can play. There's a varied amount of modes. There's like a one-on-one ace combat thing that they don't have active yet that I'm interested to see what that looks like. You then have 6v6 objective-based combat, where you have 6 members to a team, and then the objective is randomly selected based on the map. Some of them are capture the flag type missions. Other ones are capture and hold objectives. And then there are straight up death matches. I liked the variation here, and there's a lot of modes to already chew on, which a lot of these games tend to lack when they come out when it comes to the multiplayer stuff. But that's not all. One of the interesting modes on this is a very ambitious extraction type shooter mode, where you boost in with 2 other mechs. You're launched into a large map with a few other teams here and there, and tons of NPCs to take down and destroy. Some of the NPCs will have really, really heavy difficulty, hard to kill, and then you pick up items from the enemies you destroy, and the other players you can manage to destroy. And whatever you manage to get out with is what you get out with. The whole time there are these disasters on the board, these that are slowly closing the map in, kind of like PUBG, but instead they're all emanating from different random places. So like where you can move is kind of interesting, and as this goes on, the extraction points will become active, which forces you to kind of meet up with the players at the extraction point. Because once an extraction point is claimed, that extraction point is claimed, and you'll have to wait for another extraction point to become active, and there's 5 extraction points to become active. These modes, these missions tend to take a really long time. They're not quick fire, get in, get out sort of thing. I also enjoyed the fact that you don't lose the stuff you take in. You only lose the stuff that you've gathered so far, which is nice. One of the things that I hate about extraction shooters is like when I get out with something and then I take it back in and I die, the second time I lose that thing, and that just drives me nuts. It always feels like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Not with this. There's also a different drop that you can pull, which will allow you to send 3 of your items that you really want to keep back to base and save them, which is great. So you can at least make it out with something, even if you die. Plus, there's an in-game currency that you earn just by doing stuff in this mode called merits. So even if you die and you don't get any items, you're getting something towards a goal. That's kind of the overview of the game. I want to now go into this review bombing situation. So this game is mostly negative right now on Steam. Everybody's just review bombing it. And from what I've heard of the review bombs, they're all review bombing it about microtransactions that aren't even in the game yet. This is a little frustrating to me. Personally, I think review bombing is a very valid tactic for the consumers to kind of fight back against crappy policies. We all remember when Sony decided to make it that Helldivers 2, you had to have a Sony account to access it, and the review bomb made them walk that back. So this is a way for consumers to fight against crappy practices. However, sometimes with any good resource, bad resources come. Look, a lot of these reviews are like, this is going to be microtransaction, this is going to be pay to win, all that stuff. I don't see it right now. Every one of the currencies is earnable through play. You don't earn a ton, it will be grindy, but that's what it's supposed to be. And in fairness, the credits, which is what you use to buy the major bulk of your mechs, because you have to kind of buy a schematic to get the new mech, kind of like a hero in For Honor or something. You have to spend the money to get the new suit. The credits, I ground out all of the mechs except the one that you needed merits to get in probably like, let's say like 6-7 hours of play. I think that's huge. Like, think about that. Think about how quick that is. You can't do that with For Honor. It takes you like a week to get a character, and that's a pretty generous system with their premium currency. So, like, this is a free-to-play game. They have to find ways to charge you money, or it won't work, and that's going to be something that they charge for. As far as the pay-to-win, I haven't really noticed any difference in the mechs that you pay for as opposed to the mechs that you have to start. That being said, it could be there. The fights in this game are real chaotic and real crazy, and it would be really hard. I think it's just very hard for me to tell if mine is overpowered or not. I will say I have one of the but the harder to get suits, Stego, which is my favorite right now, and I tend to whoop a lot of ass with it, so maybe there is some balancing issues. But again, that's balancing issues. That's not necessarily currency issues. I mean, you can, if you have a free-to-play game where you can earn all of the currency by playing the game, that's a win, in my opinion. So I think it's definitely worth a try. I don't think that those review bombs are necessarily doing what they need to do in this case. Could be wrong, but just from my personal opinion, I didn't necessarily feel like there was any sort of there was anything alluding to the microtransactions being unfair in the long run. So let's go into excitements. This game is beautiful, and I encountered almost no bugs with my nearly 10 hours of play, which is amazing. I got to get into matches fast. I got out of matches fast. It's very pretty. It plays really well, and I didn't even notice any glitching or anything, and I didn't even have to mess with my settings. So I'm pretty impressed with that. That level of excitement, that is just something that brings a level of excitement to me on a game like this that I just wasn't expecting it to not be buggy or glitchy or whatever. My next thing is just the level of combat in this is a lot of fun. They've somehow found a way to like really incorporate long-range fighting with close-range fighting, and I think that it's really fun to go back and forth between the two and really kind of build out your mechs and kind of see how it works. I also want to say in the Mash Mac mode, which is the extraction mode, you can actually set up custom loadouts and put weapons on your suit that they wouldn't normally have, that would be reserved for a different suit, which that mix and match is really fun in Mash Mac mode. I love running Stego with a heavy Gatling gun from Tricera and the beam sword, the Inducer beam sword that's, I don't think on a mech, just one of the ones that I picked up. And those all can be acquired through acquiring blueprints through extraction, which is really cool. And then you can actually level them up as you go, which I think is even cooler. And it creates these really nail-biting, interesting moments where you're cutting through swaths of NPCs, and then all of a sudden you happen upon another team, and it's just a fight for survival. I think it's a really cool mode. There is some things that concern me overall about this game, which we'll get into in a second. But yeah, I think this could be a lot of fun. So let's talk about the concerns. Let's get this bad boy done. Concerns I have, first and foremost, number one with a bullet. Every player on your team, whether it's Mash Mac mode or Operation Verge, which is a 6v6, which is the 6v6 objective mode, you cannot have doubles of a mech on a team, and that I hate that. It's the biggest reason I don't play hero shooters like Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, because I don't like that. I want to be able to play the character that I want, especially if I paid my hard-earned credits for it and somebody else clicks a button faster than me. That drives me nuts. Like, there was one character, Nakumi, who is a sniper. I got her. I didn't get to play her for 3 matches because every time she's a popular character and a popular mech, and every time I popped in, somebody had already pressed the button and had her in. That is super frustrating. This is a mech game. You're telling me nobody has more than one of this mech? That's ridiculous. All these mechs are unique? That's dumb. I don't like that. It kind of takes me out of the realism, and it irritates me on a really heavy level. Thankfully, there are enough mechs here and enough different choice that this doesn't happen as often as it does with like a game like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals. But it still happens enough to where I'm talking about it now and it pisses me off. I mean, and let's face it, if they're weapons of war, there would be more than one of them. The army doesn't make one jet and call it a day. So, my next concern is the voiceover stuff and the lore stuff. Look, if you play this, you're going to notice it. And I'm guessing they're going to fix it, because on a lot of the voiceovers, they just have under it, in parentheses, voiceover work not final. I don't know if they just had some devs like record some lines to get this thing out, but the voiceover work is atrocious. Like, absolutely the worst. They put inflection on the wrong words. They'll be having a serious conversation, and one of them will just be screaming for no reason. It is crazy how bad this voiceover stuff is. Like I said, it does say it's not final. This is probably just a glitch of the demo, and we'll probably be getting some better voiceover work when we get to the actual game. So that brings me to whether or not I'm going to play when it comes out. It's free to play. I'm definitely going to play it. I'm kind of invested right now. I wish they'd make it so that we could have more than one of the same mech in a mode, but I really enjoy this, and I've been looking for a new kind of competitive games as a service to kind of catch me, and not a lot have. I keep going back to For Honor over and over again, and this one really did, and I'm kind of enjoying seeing where it goes and when it comes out, what it looks like. So what do you guys think? Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Tell me in the comments below. You can also contact me on Facebook at OMGGamingDH, on X at OMGGaming9. You can join my Discord. The link is in the description below. Influence us in all of our shows from there. And as always, you guys keep watching and listening. We'll keep making them. See you guys next time.